Hey guys, my name is Alba Avella, coming to you from Tulum, Mexico. Today I have for you a power vinyasa flow for the intermediate to advanced student. We're going to be working on control and stabilization. We're going to be focused mainly on the hips and the pelvic floor, as well as those deep transverse abdominis and deep intercostal muscles. When you're ready, grab whatever props you may need for your practice, and we'll meet you on the mat.
Hi, my name is Ashton and I'm the founder of You Aligned. Thank you so much for practicing with us here on YouTube. Before you get started, I wanted to quickly share with you about YA Classes, which is our premium on-demand yoga and fitness membership platform. There we offer hundreds of classes in all different yoga modalities, in addition to guided meditation, breath work, fitness, bar, Pilates, and so much more. There's also amazing membership perks that come along with YA Classes, and I would love for you to check it out free for 30 days. You can click the link below or head to yaclasses.com and enter code YouTube to start practicing with us for free. Enjoy your class.
We're going to get started on our backs. So go ahead and lay down. You're going to bring your feet right underneath your knees, and you're going to bring your arms right down by your sides. The palms will be facing down, and I want you to just scoot the shoulder blades underneath you. Bring the heels right by the glutes, and just gently close the eyes. Take a couple of breaths here just to get connected to the body and to the breath. Take a moment to just feel the back of the head, through the backs of the shoulders, and just take that awareness down through the spine, into the low back, bringing the awareness to the back side of the pelvis. And then finally into the heels and the feet. And just take a moment to feel the rise and fall of the chest as you inhale and exhale. Just take a quick scan of the body to see how you feel and where your body needs to go today. From here, start to walk the shoulder blades underneath you, creating a little bit of a shelf, creating a nice strong foundation here. Start to press your hips into the ground, so the back side into the mat, and then start to flatten your low back. So press the low back into the ground, and you can take the space away by really pulling the core and the belly button in and up. As you inhale, I want you to reach your arms up overhead. Let the low back come off the mat and reach for the top of your space, finding a stretch here. And as you exhale, bring the arms back down by your sides, palms down, pressing the low back into the ground. You're going to start to press through the arms, through the shoulders. Start to gently lift your hips, a gentle bridge. Squeeze the glutes, press through the back of the head. Slowly lower down, pressing the hips into the ground. Inhale, reach the arms up, taking that space. And exhale, bring the arms down by your sides, palms down. Start to press the low back into the ground once again. From there, start to press through the back of the head as you gently lift the hips, finding bridge. Start to activate the glutes, activating the legs. Take a breath in. And exhale, slowly release your hips to the ground. One more time. Inhale, reach the arms up and overhead, finding a little stretch here. Exhale, bring the arms down by your sides, palms down. Starting to press through the arms, through the shoulders, lift the hips. Pause here. Take a breath, lift the hips 1 inch higher, and exhale, release. From here, I want you to continue pressing your low back into the ground, creating that foundation. You're going to inhale, reach your arms up overhead. As you exhale, bring the arms back down by your side. This time, you're going to crunch up, start to activate the core. So the low back is still pressing down. Start to just pulse those arms up and down nice and slow. And rather than closing off the front of the throat, take the gaze up to the sky. And we'll be here for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Gently release shoulders, back of the head to the ground. Inhale, reach the arms up, release that. And exhale one more time. Bring the arms down by the sides, start to crunch up, lift the chest, pause here. Start to pulse those arms nice and slow, up and down for 4. Feeling that core warming up, 3. Last 2. And 1, slowly release. Pulling both knees into your chest. Start to point the toes, pulling the heels towards your glutes. Bring your forehead in towards your knees, curling into a little ball here. And as you exhale, release the head and just gently rock yourself up to a seat. And again, bringing the feet kind of right underneath your knees, bringing the hands behind the hips. So if you have tight shoulders, you're going to have the fingertips pointing out. If your shoulders are a little bit more flexible today, we'll have the fingertips pointing in. But we're all going to start with the fingertips pointing out. So walk the heels of the hands in towards the glutes. From here, I want you to push through the heels of the hands, and you can see my chest lifts up just a little. Here, we're going to lift the hips. From here, I want you to try to bring your hip bones in line with your knees, and then rather than dropping the back of the head, extend through the crown of the head. Feel the tips of the shoulder blades come onto the mat. Get the triceps involved here, and now activate your glutes. Lift up 1 more inch. Beautiful. Go ahead and slowly release, hips to the ground. From here, extend the heels, and just take a gentle forward fold, releasing that. Drop the chin towards the chest and exhale. We'll do that 2 more times together. Everything working together. Walk the feet in. Take the hands back. Again, out or facing in this time. Give it a try. Start to grip down through the finger pads, making sure the hands have a strong foundation. And again, start to lift the hips nice and slow, bringing the hip bones in line with the knees. Squeeze the glutes. Extend through the crown of the head. Pause here. And exhale, slowly release the hips to the ground and extend the heels, finding a little forward fold. Good. 1 more time. Inhale, sit up. Walk those hands behind you. Walk the feet in. Feet are about hip width distance apart. Again, root down through the feet, through the heels of the hands. Start to lift those hips. Bring the hip bones in line with the knees. And now adjust the hands just a little so you have that nice foundation. Pull the belly in and up. From here, you're going to shift all the way into your right heel. Start to pull your left upper thigh towards the belly. Keep the foot flexed. And see if you can extend the heel straight. Bend the knee. Release the foot. Lift the hips and pause. Shift the weight into that left foot. Right upper thigh pulls into the belly. Extend the heel. Bend the knee. Release the heel. Good. Lift the hips 1 inch. Take a breath. And exhale, hips to the ground. Whew. Find a little forward fold and let that go. Just notice where you feel it. Notice where you feel that heat, where you feel that energy. And then go ahead and sit up. Go ahead and just make fists. Roll out the wrists in one direction. And then switch directions. Same thing with the ankles, just roll the feet out, switch directions, and then go ahead and reach up. Inhale, reach the arms up, stretch up through the torso. As you exhale, just fall towards the feet, let the forehead drop towards the shins. 2 more times. Inhale, lift up, and exhale, fall forward, feeling the low back get nice and wide. 1 more time. Inhale, lift up, and exhale, fall to the legs. Beautiful. Go ahead and sit up here. We'll cross the ankles and roll over to all fours, making that transition, bringing the knees right underneath the hips and tucking the toes underneath you to start. Make sure the hands are right underneath the shoulders, and then spread the fingertips nice and wide here. So we want nice, strong foundation through the arms. Feel the shoulders nice and strong. And from here, take a round of cat and cow just to find some feedback through the spine. Notice where you feel the heat in the body. Notice where you can relieve some tension. 1 more time, just find that nice rounding through the spine. And then come back to a nice neutral position here. Soften through the gaze and through the neck, and I want you to bring the tops of your feet flat here. Root down through the tops of the shins, root down through the hands, pull the belly in. And from here, I want you to start to extend your right leg back behind you, pointing the toes, and then pull the heel in towards the glute. So bend the knee, pulling the heel towards the butt, and then just extend the toes straight out. Do that 2 more times. Pull the heel in towards the glute, and then extend it out. And 1 more time. Pull the heel in towards the glute. As you extend the toes behind you, start to reach that left arm forward. Pause here, reaching in equal but opposite directions. From here, you're just going to release that left hand. You're going to take your right foot all the way out to the side and plant the foot so that the heel is in line with the hip. Rolling to the outer edge of the foot, start to reach up with your right hand, finding a gentle twist. Release the right hand, following the gaze down. Start to pick up that right foot. Using your core body, cross over the left side, planting the ball of the foot to the opposite side, and then really press through the ball of the foot as you look over your left shoulder back at your foot. Coming back to center, the whole body moving together. Just release the ball of the foot, press through the heel, stretch out that calf. Good. From here, you're going to come back to center. You're going to spin so that your right heel places it on the ground. Start to lean into that left hand and into that left knee. Start to reach up with your right fingertips. From here, I want you to start to press through that right foot. See if you can push through that left heel of the hand and bring your left toes to touch the inside of your right leg. Keeping this connection with the foot and the leg, start to come into a plank, pulling the left knee in towards the chest. You're on the ball of the right foot. Hold here. Control the movement. From here, you'll come into a three-legged down dog, so start to extend that left leg up, and then pull the knee back into the chest. Pause here. Spin back to the heel of that right foot. Take your left foot out and reach up through that right hand, finding a little reverse triangle here. Keep rooting down through the heel of that left hand, using your core to lift the hips. Bring that right hand down, and we move the whole body together. So pull that left knee back into the chest, spin around, bringing the toes to the inside of the knee, and find a side plank variation. Coming back to your center, pull that knee in. Everything moves together. Come back to that three-legged down dog. Reach the left leg high, and exhale, release, downward facing dog. Adjust your feet on the mat, and just take a moment here to let that settle in. Inhale as you lift the heels, stretch up through the hips, and exhale, just let the heels relax. Let the heart melt towards the thighs. Let the forehead melt towards the ground. Inhale, lift the hips. This time, bend the knees. Come back to your tabletop position. Take a round of cat and cow just to scan the body once again and reset the spine. And then we'll pull the low ribs in to find that nice neutral position. Switching sides, start to take that left leg back behind you. Pointing the toes so they're in line with the hip, start to pull the heel in towards the glute as you bend the knee. Extend the toes back. Do that 2 more times. Pull heel to glute, and extend the toes back. And 1 more time, heel to glute. Extend the toes back, start to lean into that left hand, reach your right arm forward, pause. So the low ribs want to pull in, so we protect the low back. Keep the energy through that left hand and reach in equal but opposite directions. From here, just release the right hand. Take that left foot all the way out to the side so the heel's in line with the hip, and then really press through the outer edge of that foot. Start to reach up with your left fingertips, find a twist. Release left hand to the ground, following the gaze down. Pick up that foot using the core. Cross it over the right side of the body this time, and then really press through the heel as you take your gaze over your right shoulder. Look at your foot. Beautiful. Come back to center. Pause here, release the ball of the foot to the ground, and just press through the heel. Good. From here, shift back into the foot, and then spin that left heel so it touches the ground. Start to press through the right shin, through the heel of that right hand, and reach up with the left. Finding your balance first. This gets a little tricky. From here, start to press through the outer edge of that left foot. Pushing through the heel of that right hand, I lift up and press the toes to the inside of the knee. Moving the whole body together, pull that knee into the chest as you rotate into that plank position. Inhale, reach the right leg high. Exhale, pull that knee back into the chest. Shifting the weight once again. Spin the left heel to the ground. Plant the knife edge of that right foot now. Now using the core, lift the hips as you find that twist once again, reverse triangle. Following the gaze back down with the hand. Bringing that knee back into the chest, start to spin into this side plank variation. Lifting the hips as you press that big toe into the knee, try to press the knee open. Coming back to your center, controlling the movement, thigh to upper belly, and then inhale, reach the leg high, and exhale, release, downward facing dog. Take a moment here. Inhale, lift the heels, feel the hips rise. Exhale, just let the heels relax. Good. Inhale, lift the heels. Exhale, come back to that tabletop position. Adding on, start to roll. Send that right foot behind you, pressing through the heel. Start to find that twist once again. Pause here. So really activating through the outer edge of that right foot. Start to lift up, kissing that inner knee with the toe, and then come back to that plank position. Adding on, reach the leg high to the sky, inhale. Knee pulls into the chest. Good, spinning once again to that left side. Plant the knife edge of that foot, lift the right hand. Whole body moves together, so bring that right hand down, start to lift the hips, pull the knee back into the chest. This time you're gonna flip all the way around, planting the foot, and just take your glute down to the ground. Here, reach for the inner edge of that right foot. You can use this back hand as a little bit of a kickstand to reach, and then the whole body moves together to dismantle. So shift, press through this right hand, lift the hips, and spin. Step back to your downward facing dog. Take an inhale, lift the heels, and exhale, just drop the heels, let it go. Second side, lift the heels, bend the knees, come back to that tabletop position, setting it up. Take that left foot behind you, press through the shin, press through the hand, find that twist. So really activating through the entire outer edge of that left leg. Start to press through the foot as you lift the foot. Kiss that inner knee, and then spin into that plank variation, using the arms for stabilization. Inhale, reach the right leg high. Exhale, pull knee to chest once again. Coming back, now adding on with that reverse triangle. Plant the knife edge of that foot, lift the hips as you lift the left hand. Beautiful. Come back to center, following the gaze down. The whole body moves together. Knee to chest. Start to spin all the way around. Now plant the ball of the foot and then release the heel, release the glute, and reach to the inside of that left foot. Again, I'm using my back hand to kind of push myself forward. Dismantling that, release, spinning back around, using that left arm as your foundation, and coming back to downward facing dog. Take an inhale, lift the heels. And exhale, melt the heels. From here, lift the heels. Inhale, lift your hips. Exhale, this time you're going to bend your knees. You're going to step your feet towards the top of your space. Coming into our first forward fold. You can keep the knees bent if you like, or go ahead and straighten the legs and stretch out those hamstrings. Let the head get nice and heavy here. Let the shoulders relax. Let the neck relax. Let gravity do its job here for a moment. You can sway gently side to side if that feels good. Just let that heat kind of absorb in the body. And on your inhale, take a halfway lift. So bringing the hands right below the shins or keeping them on the ground, just finding some length through the spine. And then exhale, drop the forehead towards the shins. Do that 2 more times. Inhale, halfway lift, pressing the thighs back as you lift the heart. Exhale, let the forehead drop. 1 more time. Inhale, halfway lift. This time, let that bring you all the way up to a standing position. Reaching the arms up, bring your palms to touch. Exhale, bring the arms down by your sides. Pause here for just a moment and just feel your body vertical. Feel that kind of inner sway. Go ahead and open the eyes. On your next inhale, reach those arms up. This time I want you to hook your elbows over the head. Take an inhale, pull the low ribs in, and you're just going to take a little side body stretch to the right and over to the left. Coming back to center, just release those arms and bring your hands to heart. Pause here. Take an inhale. Exhale, just let the shoulders relax down the back. Inhale, reach those arms up, bring your palms to touch, and exhale, let's just bow forward, finding Uttanasana over the legs. Let the forehead get nice and heavy. Inhale, take a halfway lift here, plant your palms and step back to your plank position. Pause here for a moment, making sure the shoulders over a wrist, fill up the chest, and as you exhale, come halfway down for that Chaturanga Dandasana, bringing the shoulders in line with the elbows. As you inhale, lift up for upward facing dog, stretch the chest, exhale, pull back, downward facing dog. Take a moment here, pause and breathe. Check in with the body. Soften the space between the brow, soften the space behind the ears, soften the space behind the jaw. From here, lift the heels, coming back to that tabletop position. Bringing the tops of the feet flat. Adding on, start to take that right leg back. Start to shift into that left hand, left side body, reaching the right arm up. And again, start to press. So our body kind of knows it now. So press through the outer edge of that foot, bringing that left toe to the knee. And then spin back to that plank variation. Inhale, reach the left leg high. Pulling that knee back into the chest. We come back to that variation, now extending the leg, reverse triangle. Good, release that hand. Pulling the knee into the chest. Remember, the whole body moves together, so spinning that right heel to the ground. Press the left knee open as you reach the left arm high. Good, coming back to your center. Pull the left knee in. Inhale, reach the left leg up to the sky. Exhale, pull that knee back into the chest. Good, this time coming into wild thing, so spin that right heel to the ground. This time plant the ball of the foot. Rather than releasing the hips, start to lift the hips as you reach that left arm up. Find a rotation through the right shoulder. The whole body moves together to release, bringing that left hand down. Spin back around, pulling the knee into the chest. Inhale, reach the left leg high. This time just bend the knee. Let the heel get heavy. Lift the knee higher. Create some space through that side body, through the hip. Releasing to downward facing dog as you exhale. Adjust those feet. Take a moment. As you inhale, lift your heels, lift your hips. Exhale, bend the knees, coming back to that tabletop position. Shifting to that right side, take that left leg behind you, reach up through the left fingertips, keeping your gaze on something still. Start to press and lift those right toes to touch the left knee. Bring that left hand down, come back to that plank position, knee into the chest. Stay with it, right leg reaches high, inhale. Exhale, pull that knee into the chest, coming back to that variation, reverse triangle. Plant the foot as you lift the hips, reach that left arm up. The gaze can stay down or start to take the gaze up. Wherever the neck allows, take the gaze back down towards the mat, spinning back around. Pulling the knee into the chest, coming into that side plank variation again. Lift the hips as you open that knee. Again, the whole body moves together. Spin around, pull the knee into the chest. Find that three-legged dog once again. And this time we'll come into wild thing. So pulling that knee into the chest, starting to set it up. So start to spin that left heel to the ground. Plant the ball of the foot. Lift the hips, lift the chest as you reach. Finding that opening and that space through the heart. And then everything moves together once again. Spin back around, pulling that knee in. Inhale, reach the right leg high. And this time, bend the knee, let the heel drop. Creating some space, and release. Release that foot, find your downward facing dog, take a moment, let that absorb. Inhale, lift the heels, and exhale, just melt the heels. From here, you're gonna lift the heels, you're gonna reach that right leg back up to the sky. This time you're gonna step to a nice wide lunge. So we've warmed up the hips a little, so step to that wide lunge. The right foot comes to the outside of the right hand. Pause here. So creating some space with the hands, creating some space through the chest by loading the shoulders, pushing through the heels of the hands. Now really press through that right foot. Bring your back knee down to the ground. Bring the top of that foot flat and just pause. Finding a twist here. Lean into that left hand, reach your right arm up. Allowing that hip to open, bring that right hand down, tuck your back toes and lift your knee. You're gonna step your left hand just out a little bit, getting some momentum through that front foot. You're gonna start to lift off, pulling your left knee in and leaning into that left hand. Start to extend your left heel towards the corner of your mat. Keeping that left hip up off the ground, start to pull the knee in. Using this left hand as a kickstand, step back and release to your downward facing dog. Trying the other side. Inhale, lift the heels. Exhale, just melt the heels. Let that side settle. This time, reach the left leg up to the sky. Using your hamstring, bend the knee, allow that heel to drop. Using that core body, start to step back wide to that runner's lunge and pause here. So if the hips are still a little bit tight, the toes can turn out. Otherwise, the toes will point forward. Creating some space here, just bring the back knee down, bringing the top of that foot flat, pressing through the shin, and then find a twist. Reach that left arm up. Releasing the left hand to the ground. Pause here. So we create it. Keeping that pressure in that left foot. Tuck your back toes, lift your back knee. I'm going to take my right hand out just a little, shifting the weight into that left foot. I'm going to shift all the way so that I can bring that right heel through, extend the heel, not letting that right sit bone come down, and then pulling the belly in, pulling that knee in, step back, downward facing dog. Take an inhale, lift the heels. Exhale, just melt the heels. We're going to put that all together. Inhale, reach your right leg up to the sky. Bend the knee, create some space. Good. Take it wide to that runner's lunge. Shift the weight into that left hand. Start to pull the left heel, extend the left heel. Step back with that left foot, back to downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the heels, create some space. Reach that left leg up to the sky. Bend the knee, let the heel drop. Whole body moves together. Step wide to that runner's lunge. Shift the weight into that right hand. Start to scoot that right heel through, and then step it back. Downward facing dog. We'll go one more time each side. Take an inhale, lift the heels. Right leg goes up. Good. Bend the knee, let the heel drop. Using your core, step wide. Shift into that left hand. Bring that left heel forward. Beautiful. Last time, step back, downward facing dog. Take a moment. And then lift the heels as you inhale, making room. Reach that left leg up. Bend the knee, let the heel drop. Stepping wide to that runner's lunge. As soon as that left foot plants, shift into that right foot. Press that right heel forward, and then shift back. Downward facing dog. Take a breath. Inhale, lift the heels. Exhale, melt the heels. Good. Come back to that tabletop position. Back to all fours. Bringing the hands right underneath the shoulders. Once again, take a round of cat and cow just to let it all absorb. And then find a neutral spine, pulling the low belly in and up. Spin so that the heels of your hands are facing front. Fingertips will point back, and just shift your hips back nice and gentle. Feeling a little stretch through the forearms, through the wrists. Let your neck relax. Let the chin drop down towards the chest. Good. Feel that little release. You can go ahead and shake that out. And come back to center. So from this tabletop position, we're going to come back to our flow. So I want you to shift onto that left shin, onto that left hand, plant that right foot, find that twist once again. We've been here before. Now we can start to explore it. So start to reach up, start to press, kiss that inner knee with the left toe. Coming back to that plank variation. Pause here, pulling that upper thigh to the belly. Inhale, extend those toes up to the sky. Exhale, pull that knee in. Coming into that reverse triangle, spin and plant that foot, reach up. Good, release that right hand. Pull the knee in. Now start to create wild things. So spin the ball of the foot, lift the hips as you reach. Spinning back around, the whole body moves together through the arms, left knee in. Reach the left leg high. Step wide to that runner's lunge. So stepping forward, and now immediately shift into that right foot. Extend your right heel. Bring the right heel back. Step back, reach the left leg high. Bend the knee, let the heel drop. Create some space. And release, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the heels. Exhale, bend the knees back to tabletop. Adjust the hands as needed. Take a round of cat and cow. Just to feel the difference, and then pull the low ribs in. Find that foundation. Switching sides, right arm, right knee gets strong. Take that left foot back. Extend the left arm, finding that twist. Left leg gets strong as you lift the right toes up to kiss the knee. And then that plank variation, pulling knee into the chest. Right leg reaches high, inhale. Knee pulls back into the chest. Now we come into that reverse triangle. Spin to the left, plant the right foot, and reach up. Keep rooting down through that right hand. Reach for the sky, and then release. Again, the whole body moves. Reach the knee into the chest, and now we come into that wild thing. So spinning to the opposite side. Plant the ball of the right foot. Lift the hips as you spin the heart and reach. Beautiful. Coming back to center. Following the gaze back down. Pull the knee into the chest. Right leg reaches high. Inhale, making room. Step wide to that runner's lunge. Plant the foot. Shift into that left hand. Start to press that left heel forward. Take the left foot back, step back, right leg reaches high, inhale, bend the knee, let that heel drop, create space. So good. Release to your downward facing dog and take a breath. Just let all of that movement, all of that energy absorb. Good, inhale, lift the heels. As you exhale, come back to that tabletop position, pause here. Take your hips back towards your heels, Coming into a modified child's pose, so keeping the knees together, bring those arms all the way forward. You're going to tent your fingertips, so rising up onto the finger pads, really let the forehead just melt down as you hollow out the armpits. Good. Start to bring your hands towards you as you sit just up on hips with the knees together. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, just drop the shoulders down the back, close the eyes. Just feel that heat, feel that energy. Good. As you inhale, reach the arms up, bring your palms to touch. Exhale, just bring the hands through heart. Good. Do that one more time. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, hands come through heart. Good. Rising up onto the shins, bring your hands to your hips, and you're going to bring the hands to the low back. And just like we did in the beginning of class, the fingertips can point down, or if you'd like a little bit of wrist action, you can point the fingertips up, bringing the tips of the shoulder blades together. Heels of the hands are going to press into the back side of your sacrum to really support the low back. Pulling the belly in and up, we want to lift the chest here, and rather than dropping into our low back, we're going to try to keep all of this stable as we just lift the heart. So if you can imagine somebody has their hand on the front of your sternum, this is where we want to find that energy and where we want to find that lift. So bring the hands back to the low back and really support the backside. Draw the elbows together in the tips of the shoulder blades, and then start to roll the shoulders back as you just simply lift the heart. It doesn't have to be a huge back bend. It's just an opening through the heart space. Take the gaze up, and again, rather than just dropping the back of the head and crunching through the neck, we want to extend through the crown of the head, all while supporting the low back and really get that opening through the chest. As you exhale, we counter that pose. So take the heels to the hips, grab onto the heels, and just curl into this tiny little ball. Good. One more time. Everything moves together. Come up onto the shins, hands to the low back, pull the belly in, lift everything up into that heart space, keeping the legs strong and the glutes strong. Find a gentle back bend here. Beautiful. Exhale. Release that. Hips to heels. Bring the forehead down, filling up the back heart space now. Let the shoulders completely relax. Just take a breath. And as you're ready, come back to that pose of downward facing dog, reset. Our foundational, kind of scan the body, take a moment, feel the hands and the feet, feel that energy moving through the whole body. Feel the breath moving through the whole body. Inhale, lift your heels. As you exhale, come to that tabletop position. Good. Pulling your right knee in towards your chest. You're going to pull the upper thigh to the low belly. Start to take just a couple hip circles here. Continuing working through the hip socket, working through the pelvic floor and those low core muscles. Pull the knee into the chest and now kick that foot straight back. Start to point the toes, pull the heel in towards the glute, and as you reach in, or lean into your right hand, reach your left arm forward. Start to spin that left hand behind you and see if you can touch the inner edge of the foot. Left shoulder rolls back as you grab the foot, kick foot into the hand, and then start to lift the heart as you push through the heel of that right hand. Good. Try to control the release. So low ribs pull in as you extend in equal but opposite directions, and then come back to that tabletop position. Find a rounded cat and cow. And then low ribs pull in. We have a nice strong foundation. Pulling that left knee into the chest and just creating some freedom through the hips, through that hip socket. Finding those hip circles here. And then pull the knee back into the chest. Flex the toes down towards the ground as you press through the heel. And then point the toes, pull the heel in towards the glute. Keep leaning into that left hand. Reach your right arm forward and then spin the palm. Roll the shoulder back. See if you can grab the inner edge of the foot. And then rather than releasing the belly or dropping into that shoulder, try to push through the heel of that left hand and stretch the belly as you lift the heart. Doesn't have to be a big movement. We just want to kick the foot into the hand and feel that stretch. Controlling the movement, controlling that release, coming back to tabletop. Take a round of cat and cow. And from here, you're simply just going to cross the ankles, shift your hips back, and come back onto your butt. Extend your heels forward, adjust the hips as needed, and just gently find a little forward fold here. Let the forehead drop towards the shins. Feel that rounding through the back. The low back gets nice and wide. Go ahead and inhale, sit up tall. And you're going to bend the knees, walk the feet in, and we're going to come back to that reverse tabletop. So you're going to bring the hands behind you. Again, fingertips could be out or facing in, getting the triceps involved. So activate the arms as you lift the hips. Good, so bringing the hip bones in line with the knees. Our body's ready for this now. So start to look towards your knees. Again, shifting the weight all the way into that right foot. Start to pull your left knee into your chest. This time you're going to extend the heel up. If you're good here, start to drop that left leg open, controlling the movement, keeping the belly strong. Come back to center, bend the knee, release the foot, lift the hips 1 inch. Pulling right upper thigh to the belly, extend the heel. Using the core, controlling the leg, let it open nice and slow, and then come back to center and release. Lift the hips, lift the gaze, and exhale. Release the hips to the ground, extend the heels, and find a little forward fold, countering the pose. Beautiful. From here, go ahead and sit up. You're going to shift your hips towards the top of your space and come back onto your back. Coming back to where we first started. So you're going to bring those arms down by your sides, walk the tips of the shoulder blades together, create that shelf through the heart. So just take a moment here. Notice the difference in the body than when we first began. Notice where the breath is. Notice how the body feels. And then start to feel the arms get strong. Pressing through the hands, pressing through the center of each heel, lift the hips, finding that bridge pose. So you can shimmy those shoulder blades underneath you just a little bit more, and then press through the back of your head as you squeeze the butt. You really want to squeeze these little butt muscles and the hamstrings. Start to shift the weight back into that right foot. Create that nice strong foundation. Pull your left upper thigh to your belly. Now point your toes. You're just going to tap your left big toe to the ground, and then pull upper thigh to low belly. We'll do that 3 more times. Tap the toe to the ground, upper thigh to low belly. 2 more. Tap the toe, upper thigh, low belly. Create the movement, control the movement. Good. 1 more time. Now from here, extend the heel, lift up 1 more inch, and then bend the knee, release the foot, and come back down. Releasing the hips to the ground. Inhale, reach your arms up, stretch up through the upper body. Exhale, release the arms down by your sides. Second side, walk those heels in, make those little adjustments that you need, and then create the bridge pose again. So hip bones in line with the knees, squeeze the glutes, work through the arms. Shift all the way into that left foot, right upper thigh pulls to the belly. Now start to point the toes. So just the big toe taps the mat, and then upper thigh to the low belly. 3 more times, tap the mat. Staying strong through that left leg, upper thigh to low belly. 2 more, tap the mat, upper thigh to low belly. 1 more time. You got it, upper thigh to low belly. Pause here, extend the heel. Doing so good, pull that heel back in, release the foot, lift the hips, and slowly, gently release. Take an inhale, reach those arms up. And exhale, bring the hands to the belly, bring the soles of the feet to touch. Let the knees open wide and just pause here. Just feel that difference. Notice what's happening through the front of the hips, through the back of the hips. And then using your hands, grabbing the outside of the knees, pull the knees in towards your chest. Just rock gently side to side, giving the low back some love, allowing everything to just kind of settle and absorb. From here, I want you to keep your knees hugging in. Start to bring your forehead in towards your knees. Keeping your chest up, just take your left heel down towards the ground, flexing the foot and allowing the heel to hover. The core stays activated here. Just switching out, extending the right foot and pulling the left knee in. Again, keeping the gaze up. We're controlling that movement right through the core body, switching side to side, not too fast and not too slow. Moving the whole body together to create that core engagement and to create that stabilization through the back. 3 more times. Final 2. Final 1. Releasing the head, pulling both knees into the chest. Beautiful. Keep your right knee hugging in. Take your left leg down to the mat. And same thing we did in tabletop. And release your grip on the knee. Just take a few hip circles here, these final hip circles, just to release any last tension through the hips. Keeping this left leg nice and strong, just switch directions. And on that last rotation, pull the knee in and just gently guide it across the body. Cactus that right arm. Pause here. Allowing the low back and the hips to relax. Allowing your body to absorb the practice, coming back to your center. And just simply switching out the legs. Pull that left knee in as you release the right heel to the ground. Pull that upper thigh to the low belly, and then release your grip on the knee. Take a few hip circles on this left side. Again, just releasing any last tension through the hips and through that pelvic floor. Switching directions just to counter. And if you notice any popping or cracking, that's okay. It's finding that release of stagnant energy. On this last one, pull that knee in, guide it across the body, cactus that left arm, and just pause. Again, relax the low back, relax the hips, relax the legs. Coming back to your center as you are ready, pulling both knees into the chest. Rocking side to side one last time, and then pull the forehead into the knees so you feel just your mid-spine on the ground, giving yourself that little seal and that final squeeze before you start to build your Shavasana the way you would any other pose. Create the posture. Allow yourself to find that stillness and that surrender. We don't have much time here. We've moved this entire time, so take this moment to just be still, to let everything absorb, and to just simply be present. Shavasana. And as you lay here, just finding a scan of the body, moving from the crown of the head through the heels of the feet. Allowing yourself to just notice how the body feels, how the breath feels. If you've created some space and some freedom in both the body and the mind. Point your toes, and on your next inhale, just reach the arms up overhead, taking a full body stretch like you just woke up. And then just bend the knees, pulling them in towards you, making your way onto one side. Just simply press yourself up, coming to that seated meditation. Crossing the legs and bringing the hands to the knees. Just sit up tall, roll the shoulders down the back, and just pause here for a moment. Notice the differences. Notice the space. And gently bring your hands together in front of your heart. And remember to take this energy with you. Take this practice with you. Let it seep into the rest of your day, the rest of your week. Come back to this practice anytime, giving yourself that time, giving yourself that grace. Bowing your chin deeply towards the chest, honor yourself always, first and foremost, for showing up. And together we'll bring the thumbs to the third eye, lifting the gaze, draw an inhale in. And as we exhale, we bow with gratitude to the practice and to all things. Namaste.